You're exaggerating. It's just a wedding, my mother said when I found out I wasn't invited to my own sister's big day. A few days later, I booked a solo trip. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. I'm Ethan, 33, an architect in Austin, Texas. 2 weeks ago, my younger sister, Emily, erased me from her life in the most polished, deliberate way possible by planning her wedding and leaving me off the guest list entirely. Emily, my little sister, the one I protected, defended, and sacrificed for, the one who lived in my apartment for 2 years when she couldn't afford rent, the one whose master's degree I paid for, the one I comforted during heartbreaks and family fights. When she announced her Santa Barbara wedding, I didn't get a call, a text, or even a courtesy email. Instead, I saw her Instagram story. We've only invited the people who are truly important to us. She said it with that sweet, manipulative tone, wearing her trial white dress, smiling into the camera, and in the background, names of distant cousins, high school friends, even a great-aunt from Brazil, everyone except me. When I asked my mother about it, she brushed it off. Oh, Ethan, don't make it bigger than it is. It's just a wedding. Just a wedding. As if I didn't understand the message. I'm not important enough. I don't bring prestige. I'm of no use to her anymore. That night, while the family group chat buzzed with wedding memes, I booked a first-class trip to Miami, Ocean View Resort. Just me. I posted a photo, champagne in hand, feet in the pool, with the caption, "Sometimes family isn't where you were born, it's where you find peace." The missed calls poured in. Miami gave me the kind of silence I hadn't felt in years, not the cold silence of being ignored at family dinners, but the peace that comes from walking away. I swam, walked the beach, drank wine, and ignored the chat titled Emily's Wedding. By day 3, curiosity got me. I opened my phone to dozens of messages and a new post from Emily, counting down the days with the people who truly matter. Once again, know me. Then my mother messaged, "Sweetheart, don't be dramatic, it's just a wedding." Day 5, Aunt Margaret called, urging me not to add fuel. Day 6, Dad phoned with his usual cowardly neutrality, "Don't take it personally, these things get complicated." Then came the kicker, a text from Mom. "Ethan, can you co-sign Emily's apartment loan? We're waiting on your documents for the bank." They hadn't even asked, they just assumed. That night, with a Miami sunset behind me, I sent a voice note to the family chat. "I'm not signing anything. I'm not your bank or your emotional safety net. If this is normal to you, fine, but I'm done." Silence, then the flood of messages, shock, guilt, faux concern. By the wedding day, I was sipping coffee by the sea while Santa Barbara scrambled for the event of the century. I won't lie, I was curious, but curiosity felt a lot better from 2,000 miles away, with no one expecting me to save them. I opened Instagram. Same thing as always, Emily flooding her stories. White dress, bouquet, perfect makeup, Dad walking her down the aisle like they were the picture of closeness, friends shouting, "The most beautiful bride," romantic music in the background, probably Ed Sheeran, everything perfectly staged. Or so it looked. Around noon, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. First, a text from my cousin Jake. "Dude, did you see this?" with a Twitter link. The video was shaky. Filmed from the back pew, Emily stood at the altar, smiling beside her fiancé, music playing, guests clapping, when suddenly, he froze. She whispered something, he didn't look at her, said a few words, then turned around and walked straight out of the church. Gasps, shouts, the groom's mother shot up like she'd been hit. Emily stood there, wide-eyed, frozen. A security guard tried to block him, got shoved aside. Then the groom disappeared through the main doors. The camera hit the floor. Chaos. Guests chasing him, voices yelling over the music. I watched it 3 times, thought maybe it was fake until I saw 2 more angles from different accounts. No doubt about it, Emily's perfect wedding had just imploded in front of 150 people. Then came the messages. "Aunt Susan, Ethan, please answer. Emily is a mess. We need you to come." Oh, now I'm family again? Now I'm important? Then my mother, "Please, Ethan. This has been a disaster. Your sister needs you." Ignored. Next, a voice note from Brandon, my cousin's husband. The groom found messages between Emily and her ex, recent ones. Someone showed him right before the ceremony. He had it printed out, threw it at her in the dressing room, and walked out. Boom. I thought back to the night Emily called me crying over that same ex. I picked her up at 2 a.m., made her soup, gave her my bed. 2 days later, she went back to him. She never thanked me. So no, I wasn't shocked she'd been messaging him. And no, I didn't feel sorry. I felt angry because if things had gone smoothly, they'd still be pretending I didn't exist. I spent that afternoon at the spa, massage, sauna, champagne, posted a photo robe, ocean view, captioned, less drama, more massages, hashtag self-care, hashtag not available. Silence, blissful silence. I turned off my phone. No more Ethan, help us, no more being the family's emotional crutch. Back in Santa Barbara, they were drowning in chaos. I was sleeping like a king. A week later, I returned to Austin not for family, but to wrap up loose ends. I ignored all 80 unread WhatsApp messages, read a few previews. Emily is devastated. Mom won't stop crying. Don't be cruel. Cruel? After they erased me from the wedding guest list? Fine, call me cruel. That day, I removed my parents as beneficiaries from my accounts, updated my will, closed the family account my mother used, money that always seemed to end up funding something for Emily. Minutes later, Emily texted, Ethan, the grocery card isn't working. Did something happen with the account? I replied, account closed, no explanation. The next morning, the doorbell rang. My mother, 8 a.m., coffee in my hand, robe still on. Ethan, are you really going to do this? We're your family. I just stared. I remembered the night I'd told her I was burnt out from work, and she'd laughed. Oh, Ethan, don't start with your drama. That was the moment I knew I couldn't be real around her, I just had to be useful. Emily is in bed. She won't talk to anyone, she said now. That's not my problem. She tried again, your father is worried. And where was he when you all decided I wasn't worth a seat at the wedding? Silence. I'm tired, I told her, tired of paying, fixing, rescuing, tired of always being available. But we're your family. No, you were my family, now you're just people who share my last name. I closed the door, no drama, no second thoughts. I closed the door on it. 2 weeks later, I left Austin for San Diego, found a small apartment, nothing fancy, but quiet, remote work, a steady routine, and no one knocking at my door. I told no one. No goodbye dinner, no last conversation. I left the way they left me, out of their picture-perfect wedding, and for the first time in years, I slept well. Number 6 a.m. Ethan, can you do me a favor? Texts, no interrogations about how I spend my money, no forced smiles to avoid being called dramatic. Peace, without guilt, without regret, without them. 6 months passed. 6 months with no emergency calls. 6 months without Ethan. Can you? 6 months of not swallowing my feelings to keep the peace. And for the first time in my life, calm. It wasn't easy at first. Mornings felt wrong, like I'd forgotten something, like I should be bracing for someone to need me. But the silence grew comfortable. I'd wake, make coffee, and work without interruptions. No one expecting me to fix their chaos. No one accusing me of overreacting. I was living for myself, something I'd never done before. 3 weeks in, Emily reached out. Hi, I know I have no right, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I read it, left it. 2 hours later. I made a lot of mistakes. I needed you that day and I needed you after, but you were cruel too. Cruel, after she erased me? After years of taking what she needed, then cutting me out of the most important moment of her life? I laughed. And I didn't reply, not out of pride, but dignity. Then Mom emailed. Son, we all make mistakes. What matters is forgiveness. Family is all we have. No, what we have are choices. I made mine. A month later, I saw them by accident, Cafe Terrace in San Diego. Mom, Dad, Emily. She stared at the ground. Dad gave a weak wave. Mom came over. Ethan, are you not going to say hello? I'm busy. You're not even going to talk to your sister? Did she talk to me before cutting me out? Silence. What do you want me to say, Mom, that I'm happy to see you? I just want us to be a family again. I already have a family, the people who respect me. You had your chance, you lost it. She froze. I turned back to my coffee. The fallout. Emily's still renting a friend's apartment. Her mortgage fell through because I didn't co-sign. She's working temp jobs, on anxiety meds. Do I feel sorry? A little, but that doesn't repay the years I spent as her unpaid therapist and ATM. Mom plays the victim, tells everyone Ethan's going through a phase, sold her car, quit the gym, stopped her beauty treatments, the shared account's gone, the faucet's dry. Dad, still nothing. That day in San Diego, he waved like I was a stranger. He's always been absent. Extended family? Silence. 2 cousins messaged privately. I get it, but I don't want problems with your mom. Same story, plenty agree in secret. Few will say it out loud. Me, I'm good. My small studio feels like mine. I work with clients who respect me. I run in the mornings. I read, write, laugh. No one makes me earn their affection. 6 months since the wedding. I haven't seen them again. I don't miss them. People ask if I feel guilty for walking away. Truth, I feel free. They called me selfish, but this is what it looks like to finally live for yourself. Final update. When I shared my story, I expected a few people to relate, others to criticize. I didn't expect so many to say, "This is my life. Thank you for putting it into words." To those who tell me, "But they're your family, you'll regret it someday," I've heard that my whole life. As if blood is a free pass to hurt someone. If I regret anything, it'll be for not setting boundaries sooner. To those who say, "You sound resentful, why not talk first?" I did talk. Once, I told my mother, "Sometimes I feel like no one sees me." Her reply, "Always with your feelings. Ethan, why ruin everything with emotions? In my family, feelings are weakness, boundaries are betrayal." To those who ask, did it hurt to walk away? Yes, it hurt to block my mother. It hurt to remove my sister from favorites. It hurt not replying to Aunt Margaret's voice message, but it hurt more to stay waiting for love that never came. Would I ever speak to them again? Not today. Not unless they truly change, not guilt trips, not fake tears, but real change, and only if I can come back as a person, not a fixer, not a wallet, not the family punching bag. If you feel invisible in your own family, if speaking up makes you dramatic and setting boundaries makes you selfish, you're not the problem. You're not crazy, and you're not alone. It's not selfishness, it's self-respect, and once the hurt fades, the air without guilt or manipulation feels different, better. Thank you for letting me share this. It helped more than I can explain. Ethan.